Hi, friends. I hope you're having a lovely day today. Welcome back to another episode of the Red Photo Podcast. What is exciting about this podcast in particular is this is the first one that I am video recording as well as audio recording. And so I have a camera to my right here. Hi, friends. How's it going? If you're watching on video, you get to see me in beautiful 2 dimensions and in audio as well. So the good thing about having a video version of the podcast is for every one of you guys who are willing to stop by the video version, you're going to get to see something pretty amazing that's about to happen. I just bought some new light bulbs, and these light bulbs are spectacular. Here we go. So first off, we can control the actual Kelvin number of the light bulbs. Look at this. Look at this. Listen to this. Hear it. Hear it with your eyes and ears. Hear it with whatever senses you have. Also available on smellovision.com. Look at that. Oh, yeah. But it gets way more fun than that. It actually goes into, we can do all sorts of fun things. And these are, by the way, these are not Philips Hue lights. And I'm going to link below to these on YouTube. These are called LifeX, and apparently they're brighter than Philips. My wife says that the app is better from what she's seen so far. So just throw that out there. I'm actually going to put an Amazon affiliate link down in the bottom if you want some fun dynamic lighting light bulbs. But boom! We just went red. This is a Russian dance club. It's a Russian dance club. Oh, yeah. Oh, red, blue, red, blue, red, blue. Woo! Oh, yeah, I'm a fugitive. All right. Then we go to, what's going on there? A little bit of pinkish, orangish, pink, purple, blue. Oh, yeah. We're leaving it there. This is so fun. I'm gonna be switching this randomly throughout the entire podcast because this is very exciting to watch on video. This is the highlight of my day, to be honest. Now, not only, you can just pick different colors, but you can also, the minute level of detail that you can achieve with your color selection is spectacular here. It is fully dynamic. It's fantastic. Different themes. And then, of course, let's be honest. Let me pick a good color for this. They have the strobe. Oops. Oh, yeah, and by the way, whenever I hit the button for strobe, every single time you open the app, there is a epilepsy seizure warning to make sure you don't kill yourself. Here's the strobe. Oh, yeah, party. So, let's see. We're going to hang out at, what's green doing? This is, I don't know what to pick now. This is just too much control. Way too much control. All right, we're gonna hang out with blue for a little bit. So I think we can cycle too. There's like a candle flicker version. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's cool. We're just gonna color cycle. Let's just see what happens here. It's going really quick. I want it to go pretty slow. Okay, pretty slow variation difference. Oh my gosh, all the way up. Difference is all the way up. All right. So this podcast today is gonna be about interacting with strangers on the street and engaging with them and overcoming a little bit of the struggle that is interacting with strangers if you're anyone like me, because there can be a lot of sort of social anxiety that comes along with approaching a random human and asking them a strange question. In your mind is strange, at least. This isn't hype enough for me. Hold on, we're going red right now. Freaking Russian dance club, Red Photo Podcast. I bet I could do orange and match. Okay, I'm sorry. I digress. Sorry, video audience. So we're going to get to that. But first I found, I was, how did I come across this? Something about hipsters. I forget what it was. Oh, yes. Okay, so I had a comment on my video. One of my recent videos from a guy named Carl West, and Carl West left a very elegant, thoughtful comment, and it reads, "Another great video, James, but can you tell me why so many photographers say they hate a square crop? I actually think a square crop looks pretty cool once printed in frame. Does this make me a freak?" And I left a longer comment. Whenever people leave me long comments, I leave longer comments. That's how I roll. Because if somebody I really appreciated left a longer comment than the one I left for them, to me, that would mean a lot. So I try to engage in that way. So my response was, hey, thank you, Carl. I appreciate that. Very interesting question. I guess I would say people don't enjoy the awkward compositional decisions you have to make. You tend to have a feeling of cropping a lot of a scene out, especially when most cameras nowadays shoot 3:2 or 4:3 ratio. Square format takes some creative thinking. Also, I think Instagram beat any desire to shoot square out of many of us when it forced square format. Some photographers may feel like it's overly quote-unquote instant film hipster to shoot square. And I said, there's no reason a square crop makes you a freak. I think they're fantastic when done tastefully. A good square print is a great thing. Square away, Carl. Cheers. So I think that we need to chill out. One thing that's interesting about the culture of photography, and I think you get this across sort of every culture in some way or another, but something that we like to do is people just kind of subtly feel like they're not allowed to do things if they're coming into photography. And I think square cropping can be one of those things because you're perceived, or instant film post-processing, for example. You are sort of looked down upon by many. If you, blue, you're sort of looked down upon by many if you decide to shoot in a square format, shoot instant film, go out with an actual instant camera and Diana or whatever, which I have above me on my shelf up there. And I think that's silly because it's all cultural. There's no reason that this should be an issue. It's like me wearing a skirt. I love to wear them, but society looks down upon me. So it is a social construct, and I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna wear my skirt. I'm going to get my skirt right now. I don't have a skirt. Oops, I hit the mic. So in that. First off, don't be yourself, and if you're interested in turning your photos into filmic whatever and doing the hipster things and the pictorialism or what's the word, abstract artistic storytelling with a guy with an umbrella who doesn't have a head in your photo, like, go for it. Do that. If that's what you love, do that. There's nothing wrong with it. But more importantly, after that, I looked up on Google most hipster thing ever because I needed some content for the show. And I came across this BuzzFeed article called the 24 most hipster things that have ever happened. And I haven't read this one all the way through. We're just gonna scroll through it. I will describe as best as I can the pictures that are being shown and the captions around them, and we should get a chuckle or two. So number one on this list, and I don't really understand this one because this doesn't strike me as hipster, it just strikes me as sort of strange, it's a picture of a guy riding a camel down the street in what looks like some sort of European country. Is that do hipster men who, get on their fixed gear bikes and lineman boots and drink their fair trade coffee, is a camel like a thing that you would... I don't feel like that's something that people strive towards, and if you're trying to be an originalist, I don't know. So that one, I'll pass that one. Number two, this girl spinning yarn in the waiting room of a BMW service center. This one's pretty hipster. I mean, she's got the whole garb going on, messy hair, glasses, and she's listening to her iPod earbuds, probably some sort of, some sort of Bon Iver. I love Bon Iver. Some sort of Bon Iver, we can go way more hipster than that though. Let's see, one of those bands that where there's like 80 of the same band with this guy that's like, and with like big mustache. Probably listening to that. She's spinning some yarn, because that's what you do in your free time. More power to her. I just don't know how she carries that thing around. This girl fiercely defending the fact that she's a hipster. It's a picture of a girl holding her so I'll read the caption. Your average hipster loser sitting in a coffee shop with red lipstick on drinking hot chocolate. And then somebody commented below and said, you, ma'am, are no hipster. And then somebody commented below that and said, it was her. She commented back and said, I own Benny's PF flyers from the Sandlot and I buy 80s albums. You shut your mouth when you're talking to me. The person commented for real though. Oh, clever. Okay, number 4. And this guy defending the entire hipster scene. And then it's a picture of a guy with an iPad with a phone attached to it with 2 different apps running sort of a ukulele app trifecta or duofecta, if you will. And the text reads, buys $1,200. The dollar sign is on the other side of the 1,200 for some reason. 1,200, this is proof that all memes are created by 12-year-old boys. Buys $1,200 iPad and iPhone set to play ukulele instead of a $20 ukulele. They're way off. You lost it, BuzzFeed. A hipster does not use the iPad and iPhone to create a ukulele. They're going to go to Cambodia, grab the ukulele that was, has some sort of magnificent story about how it's provided for the families of young orphans, and the ukulele is made out of some sort of rich mahogany that was smelted in the fires of Mordor. And okay, and it's going to be a real ukulele. That's my point. They're not going to use an iPad. That's silly. There's a comment, really long comment. I'm not going to read. Number 5. This guy uses a spy, and maybe that comment will justify a little bit more. That's fine. Okay, anyway, whatever. Okay, so number 5. This guy using a spyglass to check out the scenery. And it's a picture of a guy using a spyglass to check out the scenery. Rather hipster. He could be dressed a little more hipster. The ball kind of dropped there, but that's fine. Whatever. Just, BuzzFeed striving for mediocrity here. Number 6, everything about this guy. It's a picture of... All right, this is a good one. It's a picture of a guy with this super slicked over hair, cut on the side, has a little bit of a sort of a sky. He looks like he should be playing an Alpenhorn. He's got overalls with shorts, like the overalls are rolled up into very short shorts. He has socks with like these weird lingerie stocking things on them, some shoes with checkerboard-esque patterns, a weird tie. He's on his iPhone, having a good time. Very hipster. Number 7, and these guys, and then we got 2 what looks like Amish men who have just liberated themselves, chilling in a coffee shop, we're doing some stuff, drinking coffee, looking all hipster and whatnot. Paying number 8, paying $98 for this stump. It's a stump for $98. That's pretty hipster. Okay, so I'm not gonna read through all these. Let's see. Let me see if we can find one more. There's a rustic shovel USB drive. That's awesome. Okay. So let's get down to business here. Oopsies, got to click the buttons and do the right things here. Okay, so what I want to do with this podcast, main point, like I said, let me drink a little bit of coffee. Gather my thoughts. What I want to do with this podcast is I want to hopefully give you a couple of sort of tips and tactics to deal with walking up to a stranger on the street and asking them if you can take their photo, and just kind of help you maybe feel a little bit more at ease about it. And the first thing that I want to talk about is that you want to first go out there, actually leave the house. Well, let me change my color. We've shifted topics. What are we gonna do? Pink. Oh gosh. All right. I don't want to let you guys down here. This is a big decision. All right, we're gonna go purple. Purple. Valentine's Day was a couple of was like a month ago, so let that ride out. So the first thing you have to do when you're actually on the street is decide to make a decision to actually walk up to said human and say hello to them. This is the part where if you're scared and you let anxiety sort of overtake you, you never make it to that point. You stop before you're there because you let your thoughts sort of win. So you have to look at a person, go, I think that person's interesting, and I would recommend being very liberal about this, saying if you have the slightest bit of interest in this human that's standing in front of you, I would recommend very quickly making a decision. Boom, on or off. It really doesn't matter. It honestly doesn't matter if you decide to talk to them or not. You're going to get a picture. You're probably going to be happier in the end with the picture of the human that maybe you didn't think was that interesting, but you could get up to them and they have an interesting tattoo or they have a great story, this and that. And what I would say is decide, like, make that your practice, your first step. This is a person. There's a person right there. Don't want to take that photo? No. Don't want to take that photo? Yes. Okay. And then from there, let all of the rest of these things fall underneath, right? I typed a 9 accidentally. And so what's going to then happen, and what will actually happen beforehand as well, so I guess we'll switch these around. You need to overwrite your feelings. You need to overwrite your brain, your thoughts that are telling you that this is a horrifying thing and that you shouldn't do this, that this isn't right, that something's not right about this, that you're gonna die, that you're going to be eaten by a tiger. That's basically the feeling you're having. You need to overwrite. And so it's, I don't know. I really don't know which one to put first here. This is an interesting thought process. What I would say is be objective, make your decision, and then overwrite the feelings that are going to come after that. And the way that you overwrite those feelings is to push through, those feelings. And when I say push through, the way that I often feel when I'm trying to push through my feelings is I feel like, when you go into the ocean and there's a tide and maybe it's coming at you and you're walking through the water and you're waist deep. You're trying to get through the water to get back down to where you were when you first got in. It feels like that. Like with Guilford God. It feels like that. But it feels like that, and you have to choose to push into that, press into that, and you will do both of these things simultaneously, overriding your feelings and pushing through. You have to go feeling, that's not what's guiding me right now. And the interesting thing is you're going to go if you're like me, you're going to go in your head, well, hold on, maybe the feelings, should I listen to the feelings? What do I don't know. And so you have to make a plan in the first place and like just freaking run at that thing. Don't let your feelings don't let yourself get too up in your head. What you're trying to do is get in your head as you're walking up to this person. Your consciousness is trying to go further and further into the back of your cerebellum and brain and stop you from doing this thing. And you have to push through it like you're pushing through a tide. So when you get up to the person, the most important piece of interacting with the person is not what you say. You got that? You got that, video listeners? It's not what you say. It's your energy. It's your overall. It's the vibe you come to them with. And I've always said that, and what I've learned over time is that calmness, sort of gentle, sort of meek calmness is the best thing to approach somebody with, because it kind of deals with any number of things that the person could be feeling, right? So let's switch to a calmer color, blue. so yeah, it kind of deals with every possible scenario that you're going to run into with people, other than them being just a complete nutcase for whatever reason. But I mean, I can't even really think of any of those that I've ran into. Now they will run into me. I've had people walk up to me, but yeah. So you when you approach with sort of calmness, what the people are feeling. I just had this experience the other day where I literally, I had the moment in my head where I thought, I'm like a confusing homeland. You know what I mean? It's like one of those aliens from the sci-fi, those like really poorly produced sci-fi series, Siri. I'm like a homeless person. I'm like a strange homeless person that's probably pretty decently dressed. And that was like the look I got from these people. I don't get that often, but for these people gave me this really judgmental kind of look. I was like, man, maybe that's what they see all the time. So if you come at them with insane energy or I don't know, some sort of humorous approach or oh, you want to be part of something, like if you come at them with that, sometimes it can be a little off-putting to the person you're interacting with. So if you're saying, hey, how's it going? First of all, I'm not a weird person. Well, I'm not a dangerous weird person. I am a kind weird person, and I would like to take your photo because I think you're interesting. And so that leads into my next point, which is to lead the entire interaction throughout the entirety of the interaction. As I just said, lead the conversation and where everything is going, and guide the person. Take the initiative to create the end goal. Take the initiative to create the photos you want to create the experience that you want this person to have with you, and focus in on being a leader, on being insanely engaged with this person, and over communicate what your purpose is and what you're trying to accomplish. For me, I just say, hi there, I hope you're having a lovely day. It's videos. I just say, I'm a photographer. I take photos of interesting people that I meet. Would it be okay if I took your photo? And I found that that's a really fantastic way to go about getting somebody to be completely okay. I mean, you're coming at it from a place of this is like, I'm passionate about this thing. I think you're an intriguing human being. Would you mind if I take your portrait? And I find that goes really well, but I think giving them a kind of a full, well-rounded picture of what you're trying to accomplish is a really good way to go about things. And the last thing I would say is just try to, like, when you're communicating, and this goes back to sort of leading, try to hit all the stops. And what I mean by that is when you first walk up to this person, when you're first interacting with them, from the start, do all the things that you're supposed to do, right? Do the handshake. Hello, how are you? What's your name? Like, what's your name? Like, for me, I actually I'll go, can I take your photo? They'll say, okay, cool, whatever. I'll move them to wherever I want them. And before I jump into taking their photo, I actually very intentionally, to let them know that I'm being intentional about this, I'll actually shift really quick, like this boxing juke, if you will, and say, what's your name again? Or what's your name? And I'll shake their hand. And that provides a very interpersonal kind of experience for the person. And so you do that, and then throughout the whole experience, hit all the stops that you feel like you want to hit according to your personality and what you're trying to provide. And then in the end, say, thank you so much for letting me take your photo. Shake their hand again, give them a hug, make out with them a little bit. And I found that that's a really good approach, especially the making out part. So that's it for this podcast. How long did we go here? Okay, 24 minutes. Good talk. I'm excited for this first little video podcast here. I think it went well. I'm going to hold. Okay, we're going to strobe until the end of the podcast. I'm going to go into shock. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching. I hope you have a lovely day today. You can find me at James the Red on Twitter, Instagram, and Red Photo on YouTube. Thank you so much for listening and watching once more. 15 times I'm going to say it. 15 I forget if it's like a pre-wired thing, so I'll say it over and over again. Oh my gosh, it stopped. There we go. I let you guys down with the strobe. Bye guys.